forward to the night, the evening, and there were how many segments? There was the bathing suit. There was, back in my time, you call it the disco. We had to dance. So we had lots of good help from amazing choreographers from Manila. And there was a gown competition. And we were all going to be judged as the contest progressed, right? I designed my gown. So it was off-shoulder, a white gown off-shoulder. And the sleeves were long to my wrist. And the first thing that the designers said when they saw my gown, they said, no, girl, you are not going out and walking that ramp all covered up. We need to show some skin. That's what they said. They go like, oh my gosh, what kind of skin? And they said, remove those sleeves. My mom was with me. She's in heaven now, but she's always been with me in my entire childhood. That night, we got a pair of scissors and just chopped my sleeves. Bam. Gone. No off shoulders. And so I moved then I had a strapless white gown. My gown looked better, and I agreed it now looked better because they could see my form more, and I didn't look like an angel on stage. And so I would be the first one to go, and then I would go back to our line, the formation, and then everyone went one by one as they were called, and then we all exited together. Just imagine the rush, how I felt so panicky because we would all exit together, and then I would be called first. And I'm still dressing up. Contestant number 1, Jacqueline. Oh my gosh, here I go. And then there's the disco, dancing. Our costumes were provided by a designer. And the models, of course, were always ideally tall. So my pants were really long. I managed to fold them here by the waistline. And so I went out in my green attire, dancing. I don't remember the song. And then after that, everyone exited. And then the final one, the gown competition, contestant number 1. And here I come in my gown. But you see, it's like life. Every aspect of life, every discipline in life is different. Your approach should always be appropriate. So when I walked out in my gown, of course, you're very regal. You walk like a princess. I always tell those that I train when they're walking on stage, when they're going to do interviews, to walk like you're carrying a cape at the back of your shoulders, because that gives you a very, very regal bearing. So the gown. And then the disco, of course, you don't have that cape, but you're just dancing like you're in your element, right? So I loved it. And the final one was the bathing suit competition. And mind you, my heels were like 4 inches. Thinking I'd be tall enough, but everybody wore like 4 inches plus elevations. They were like 5 inches. So I was really the shortest. Anyway, so I'm always confident when it comes to questions, answers, interviews. I have that. I love doing that. I always believe that I am ready. Although you're never really ready. But so I prayed, I said, Jesus, you just really have to help me get to the finalists, top 5. Because I know it is very, very hard to get to the top 5 because they won't hear you. They don't know what you're capable of. They don't know what mission you have. They actually don't know the kind of person you are until you talk. So you see, it's very important for you to deliver your personality by just standing. How are you going to tell them that, look, I'm ready for any challenge, if you don't show confidence, if you're like this? You have to show confidence in every possible way. And I had that in my mind the moment the curtains opened. So I said, Lord, just get me noticed by the judges, please. I just need to be in the top 5, which was really, really big. It was a really big goal. And then from there, I know what to do. I'll take care. I'll manage. But see, as God promised, try your best and I will do the rest. So you still got to do your best. So yes, I would walk, and you know what? Because I knew I was so short, I would smile from ear to ear. Like, wow, I was looking at the crowd. I couldn't really see them because of the blinding spotlights. But wow, I scanned through the audience, smiling from ear to ear, feeling like I already won. And people would cheer every time I came out. 3 different segments. Contestant number 1. Oh my gosh, I could still imagine the people cheering for me. And I remember the news after the pageant that I was the crowd favorite. I was just smiling. You see what a smile can do, right? For you and for others. So I smiled. I smiled with all the confidence. I smiled at the judges. Remember, eye contact. I always teach my trainees, eye contact is very, very important. You have to show everyone that you are there. You are in their presence. So I would look at them, and again, keep in mind your posture and your gait. Eye contact should never go away, even when you're walking the catwalk, even when you're on the ramp, or even when you're turning. Eye contact is very, very important. And again, my audience, I just love them so much. You gotta love your audience. I smile like I've never smiled before. And so, I guess it affected the judges. I guess it influenced them because I was so confident. And I found that one really special moment I remember. So you see, the MCs were a trio of personalities, and they're still very famous now, but back then they were famous as a group, and they were the MCs. And I knew that the Lord answered my prayer because they gave me the opportunity to really deliver my piece, because the MCs mentioned my name wrong, my last name wrong. So when I walked down, I corrected my name. I told them, no, this is how it's supposed to be pronounced. But I was very nice, very professional. And then I moved on to describe myself. And I moved on to, I don't remember what we were asked to. I think we were asked to talk about where we were from, how old we were. And I think that's it. So very short. So what can you really prove when you're just giving your name and the place where you're from? But I got that simple opportunity. So you see, now I'm going to talk about opportunities stemming from challenges or something that would not have been very welcome for others. You see, I always say that when there's a challenge, you should look at that as an opportunity. Don't give up. Don't think like, oh my gosh, my day is ruined. That's it for me. No. Sometimes a mistake can be your door to success. So after that, they call on the top 12 semi-finalists. Of course, I made it, and I was so happy. There were no questions, but we all had to stand there, do your quarter turns, do a bow, and that's it, walk. That's it. They're judging you already. And we were in our swimsuit attire. And then afterwards, I think there was some intermission because they had to tally, judges had to tally their scores, and then they called the top 5. And that was when I go like, Lord, remember I asked you just got to get me to the top 5, and I'm going to be okay. And so they called the 5 finalists, and I was among them. This is it. I said, Lord, thank you. I'll take it from here. And there they asked the questions. We each had different questions, and I gave it my best shot. Thank God there was no time limit because I can talk for hours. I gave it my best shot. And the audience roared in applause. The audience cheered. I felt that I did not disappoint them. I felt that they were really rooting for me. And I did not disappoint them. And I took home the crown. Now, here's the final surprise. You get judged Miss Friendship, not by the judges, but by your colleagues, depending on how you were for the past 3 days. If you're good, naughty, nice, or bad. And guess what? I won Miss Friendship. I won Miss Friendship. They liked me. So I didn't only earn the title. I earned my colleagues' respect. That matters a lot. Nowadays, there are lots of titles. We earn this, we go up in the career ladder, we earn high positions. But see, respect doesn't always come with title. You work hard for your title. You also earn respect. And it's all about how you deal with people. It's all about how you make them feel. You make them feel special. You make them feel important. You make them feel higher than you are, because it's all about lifting others, that we also rise. Don't talk to someone like you're higher than them. Yes, you know more. Yes, you have a lot of wisdom to share. Yes, you have a lot of experiences that you can draw from and share with others. But never deliver your message as though they have nothing to give on the table. Because sometimes your student knows a lot too. And you have to be open to recognizing that. It's just that they did not have the opportunity you now have to be able to teach. It's all about give and take. So the reason I'm sharing this experience with you is because I want to let you know that when we support one another, whether it's competition or it's team building or anything like that, we should always appreciate one another, because it is in lifting others that we also rise. And you know what? It always depends on how you make the other person feel when you're talking to them, when you're sharing wisdom, when you're sharing experience. You have to make them feel that you are actually there to help them, to set them up for success, and not to judge them and to see if they are going to meet your standards. No, you want to make them feel that they are capable of learning. You want to make them feel that they are capable of really reaching for their dreams. You want to make them feel that they are special, because that is the way to bring up self-esteem, to develop morale. Because nowadays, there's lots of competition around. There's just too much multitasking. So many standards are created by the internet that we all are always trying to live up to someone's standards, which shouldn't be the case. When you're properly able to develop the self-esteem of a person, they will create their own standards. And their standards are not going to be crushed by someone else's standards, because you know what you're capable of. And when you're capable of something, you know that you can aim higher, and it's just your own goals. As I always say, you should aim to be better than yourself yesterday. You should aim to achieve a higher standard that you yourself create. Because that way, if you know that it's too much for you at a certain level, then you're patient enough to wait for the next time. Because you're not in competition with anyone. And then that way you don't feel so low that, oh, this person is better than I am. No one is better. When you know your capability, when you know the circumstances within which you're developing your strengths, because we all have different niches. We all have different fields where we want to prosper in. We all have different capacities. We all have different goals. And the best way for you to assess that you're doing great is to look at your own goals in terms of your resources, in terms of your skill, in terms of your training. Look at your own goals. I believe in beauty coming from within. Beauty is never skin deep. It's never on the surface. Beauty is always from within. Beauty is how you shine, how you radiate, how you share positivity, how you motivate others, how you uplift others and want them to be better. Beauty is being able to take people by the hand and tell them, you are as beautiful as anyone. You are just as brilliant as any star. It's all about making others feel special. Because in doing so, you also rise. Your brilliance shows in the brilliance that you build in others. And that's what matters. I know I wanted to win the contest, but being voted Miss Friendship told me that I did the right thing. Respect for others will gain respect for yourself and will earn you the respect you deserve from other people. So be healthy, be beautiful, be powerful, be inspiring. Spread the good word. Be positive and share that positivity with others.